Thailand plans to undertake one of the largest megaprojects of the 21st century. Not only could it forever change global shipping, but it would also completely reshape the geopolitical landscape, potentially elevating Thailand to one of the most important players in Asia. The project in question is the Thai Canal, often referred to as the Kra Canal. This canal would connect the Gulf of Thailand with the Indian Ocean and thereby the open sea. The route from East Asia to the Middle East and Europe would be shortened by over 1,000 kilometers. This would have not only drastic economic consequences, but also significant political ones. China's greatest vulnerability currently lies in the Strait of Malacca, which serves as its only shipping route westward. Should the United States block this strait in the event of a war, China would be cut off from vital European markets as well as essential oil supplies from the Middle East. This is why the Communist Party of China is heavily pushing this project, already labeling it one of the key elements of the new Silk Road Initiative. But what does this project look like in detail? How could it permanently transform global trade? And why might neighboring countries be the ones to doom it to failure? These are the fascinating questions we'll explore in today's analysis. Enjoy! The idea of the Thai Canal is not new. Centuries ago, Thais were already contemplating shortening the trade route to Europe. Even before major canals like the Suez and Panama Canals were built, the Thai king invited French engineers to evaluate such a project. In the 19th century, it was particularly the British East India Company that sought to advance this canal. After gaining control of neighboring Burma, now Myanmar, the British also aimed to slowly dominate Thailand. France, meanwhile, sent Ferdinand de Lesseps, the man responsible for building the Suez Canal. However, the Thai king rejected any further European interference, fearing, likely rightly, that Europeans would eventually colonize his country. Additionally, Britain already controlled the Strait of Malacca through Singapore. As a result, Singapore was continually expanded and rose to become one of the most important metropolises in the world. By controlling this strait, Britain also controlled one of the world's most crucial waterways. Fearing competition, the British were concerned that someone else might build a canal through Thailand, challenging their dominance. In 1946, the British concluded the Anglo-Thai Peace Treaty, ending wartime hostilities between the two nations during World War II, but forcing Thailand to make numerous concessions. Among the most significant was Article 7 of the treaty, which prohibited Thailand from constructing a canal across the Kra Isthmus without British government approval. As a result, the project was shelved for decades. It wasn't until the 2000s, with Britain's global power long diminished and Thailand backed by a strong ally in China, that the country felt empowered to sidestep the treaty and take control of the project. This led to the current plans. There are several proposals for the canal, as the geography of the Kra Isthmus presents significant challenges. At first glance, the distance is considerably shorter than that of the Panama or Suez canals. At its narrowest point, the Kra Isthmus is just 44 kilometers wide. By comparison, the Panama Canal is 82 kilometers long, and the Suez Canal stretches nearly 200 kilometers. However, the Suez Canal traverses the flat Nile Delta, and the Panama Canal passes through relatively flat terrain with existing lakes that facilitated its construction. The Kra Isthmus, by contrast, is largely mountainous with significant elevation differences, complicating the construction of a canal. At its narrowest point, the terrain is particularly unfavorable, leading to alternative routes being proposed. One route would connect Bandon Bay near Surat Thani with Phang Nga Province. Another proposal suggests allowing ships to enter the canal at Pakbara in Satun Province. However, the most likely route is known as Route 5A, which would stretch 128 kilometers through Krabi, Trang, Phatthalung, and Songkhla. This route has been repeatedly discussed at conferences between Chinese and Thai experts and appears to be the most promising candidate. According to reports, the canal project would involve a length of 128 kilometers, a width of 400 meters, and a depth of 20 meters. This would allow the largest modern ships to pass through with unimpeded two-way traffic. The construction period is estimated at 7 to 10 years, with costs projected between $28 billion and $36 billion. While this is a significant sum, it is already clear that China would provide substantial financial backing. For China, the canal would serve as a kind of lifeline. An additional route between East Asia and Europe would make the People's Republic far less dependent on the Strait of Malacca, which the United States could relatively easily blockade. Currently, over 80% of China's oil and gas imports pass through this narrow strait. The Strait of Malacca, located between Malaysia and Indonesia's Sumatra Island, represents a critical vulnerability in China's energy supply. To address this, China has already established significant funding pools to expand transportation routes between Asia and Europe. For instance, China has invested over $50 billion in Pakistan alone, making the estimated $28 to $36 billion for the canal seem relatively small in comparison. The deputy director of China's National Development and Reform Commission even stated, "Money is not a problem for this project. The canal is envisioned as one of the key components of the Maritime Silk Road, connecting China with Southeast Asia, South Asia, Arabia, Africa, and Europe." European countries are also showing interest in a shortened route to major markets in East Asia. The Strait of Malacca is already extremely congested and sometimes even blocked. At its narrowest point, it is less than 3 kilometers wide but is traversed by over 100,000 ships annually. It is often called the world's most congested passage. The Thai Canal could alleviate this issue. It would also significantly shorten the route by nearly 1,200 kilometers, saving 2 to 3 days of travel. Large tankers could save up to $350,000 per trip in fuel costs. However, the canal is not without controversy. Surveys show that only about 30% of Thais support the canal's construction. Concerns include political unrest, government corruption, environmental destruction, and a further division of already fractious provinces along the potential canal route. Let's examine these issues in detail. One major concern is the potential division of the country, not just physically, but politically. The southernmost provinces would be cut off from the center, exacerbating existing secessionist movements. These provinces already experience frequent uprisings and calls for independence, with some Islamist groups even demanding the establishment of a caliphate. Such tensions would likely intensify with the project. Additionally, the canal would place Thailand in direct competition with Singapore and Malaysia, both of which strongly oppose the canal and are likely to obstruct it by any means. India also opposes the canal and could distance itself from Thailand. A project of this scale would enhance China's presence in the Indian Ocean. India already feels surrounded by China due to its string of pearls strategy, which includes bases in Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and potentially the Maldives. For India, China represents the greatest threat to national security. The canal would heighten this perception as it would provide China with free access to the Indian Ocean. The United States also views the canal as a significant security risk. Locally, the construction would have massive impacts, sparking protests among residents. At least 1,000 families would need to be forcibly relocated. Tourism and fishing industries would suffer substantial losses, and the environmental consequences for the Kra Isthmus have not even been fully considered. The project faces numerous challenges, which is why the Thai government has so far refrained from making firm commitments. It is trying to balance the interests of major powers while preserving national unity. In the summer of 2023, Thailand's new Prime Minister announced a focus on improving infrastructure in the Kra Isthmus region before committing to the canal project. Plans include 2 new deep-sea ports and significant expansions of road and rail networks. This approach aims to ease congestion in the Strait of Malacca and boost Thailand's economy in the short term. It is also seen as a test for further expansion, which could eventually lead to the Thai Canal's construction. For now, however, the Thai government remains cautious, particularly to maintain peaceful relations with neighboring countries. We will see what the coming years and decades bring for this project, which has the potential to significantly reshape the world and global geopolitics.